Hello world, this is Zan, playing Late Age Caleb in Lucid 2022 Dominions 5 tournament. We're starting here on turn 28. This is after an 11-hour extension by the TNG player. And I guess we'll get into what ended up happening once we're there. But for now, to just get through our message list, we have our first Blood Empowerment. And he didn't even get Horror marked, which is good. We cast Dark Knowledge on these Well of Pestilence, and they both hit. And we find a Labyrinth of Skulls, so it's +3 death this turn. And an Imperial Quarry, which is +1 earth. We have a bunch of battles. I don't think any of them are particularly important. We'll check this out in a second. Yeah, it's mainly just beating up either light PD or um, just pinging the throne. We see Ulm's full army go into the on top of the fort. Dependents get killed by Utgard, and we take this one fort that was empty as expected. So the one thing missing is we find that he actually did not move into TNG. So he took that 11-hour extension to decide that he'd rather run with his tail between his legs. And so I'm just going to keep chasing him with the Pretender. And I'm sending a good amount of forces to his capital, but not all of it. Just in case this is some sort of like super crazy strategy where now he's going to turn around with his army, and then there's a chance that the big battle, including my Titan, happens on TNG itself. It's not impossible. Ideally, even if he does decide to turn around, we meet in Armbeg and he fights my Titan instead. Because if he fights with all these birds, he'll HP route my Titan, and that'll suck. So hopefully that's not the case, and we're able to chase him and fight him there. I think he's going to be moving into Valcoria or into the Felden Forest. That's mainly because in the chat he was saying that he's going to go punish someone else that wasn't me. I'm assuming it's Pan, but I still want to be safe in case again that this was some very fanciful strategy to get me out of position and bait my armies. Because if he does wipe out my birds, that would be, I mean, he's dead, but it would be annoying. But yeah, so that'll most likely be the end of TNG. I think I'm researching this turn Conjuration. Yeah, because I was trying to get to Conjuration 5 just in case he does beat my Titan. I would get these 5 mages here, and them with Conjuration 5 and the rest of my army could beat his army. I don't want to do that because that involves spending, my air gems and, taking all these mages out of a fort to go fight. So I really don't want to do that, but just in case my Titan dies, that's pretty much the play. So I'm going to work toward it. What else do I got? I also could have just researched Enchantment 5 and done Foul Vapors with the Titan, but again, this is betting that my Titan dies. Or I thought that my Titan potentially was going to die on his capital this turn or this coming turn. So at which point, like, having him doing Foul Vapors is useless because he'll be gone till spring. Ideally, if I'm done with TNG and Armbeg, or if he really does decide to go fight Pan or Ulm, I can move onto this throne over here, which I'm pinging this turn in Osandius with my Titan and take that. And I'm praying that there's Crystal Mages there because I really need some independent mages. It's really bad right now. Other than that, I think what I'll be doing going forward is just build up on my infrastructure, have a few lazy turns. And there's a lot of anti-Utgard talk going on, not only because the Utgard player himself, I've been told by a lot of people, is actually really, really good. But just because he's a large nation, you see him stretch from here to here, and he has just kind of this blob here that I don't have vision on in the center. And on top of that, Utgard tends to be a scary nation. They have very good late game scaling. I think outside of maybe Ulm right now, Utgard might be the only. Well, Bogarus still exists, but Bogarus I think is getting their butts kicked by Atlantis. But outside of Ulm and potentially Bogarus if they're alive, Utgard I think has the best scaling of the current nations. I don't count Cetus and Abyssia; they've been fighting each other this whole time. So I think wiping them out early is to my benefit. Ideally, if like the last 3 players on the map could be me, Pan, and Atlantis, I think that's the best because I think I scale. Atlantis is better mid game than me, but I think I scale slightly better in the end. We'll see. And same for Pan. I think Pan kind of drops off pretty hard later on. We'll see how wrong I am later. um, oh, and also this turn, there was a lot of crap talking in the channel. So I did some math, and over the last 9 turns of this war, 262 of them, or 262 units of mine have been killed over the last 9 turns, of which 90 of those 262 were actually due to that mistake I had on his capital, where I should have stayed with my entire army and stormed it, but I didn't. So that sucks, but losing that many birds over that many turns, meanwhile getting all of his income the entire time, that's pretty darn good. That is pretty darn good, considering I think I was making what, like 500 gold a turn from his territory. So I think this was a pretty damn good war, where I was able to lead him by the nose to exactly where I wanted him to be to smash him with this big titan, and mostly avoid fighting his armies with my armies, because I would lose those fights. And that'll be turn 29. Going forward again, I think these turns and these videos are going to get a bit either more shorter or more shorter, either shorter or with more rambling, because again, I'm going to take some lazy turns. So that'll be turn 29. Let's go hop over to that'll be turn 28. Let's go to turn 29. So I make a trade now, actually, with DNG. I think we made a non-aggression pact, a one-way trade, where I send him some amount of gold, and he sends me some nature gems. We twice born a bunch of our mages, capture our first set of slaves. We ping the fort in Osandias, and we fight in Trollland. This is just a province of Satis that, I mean, I figured Satis is kind of dead in the water, or at least in a cripple fight with Abyssia, so I can just kind of walk in, take this, and then say, hey, listen, this is all I want from you. If you want to try to fight me for it, I'll fight you. But I think it's your best interest, just give this to me. Use some strong arm diplomacy there. In Arbeg, TNG does continue running as part of our new agreement, where he's going to go fight someone else. And I get some events. Air gems are good. We discover some tent owner, which actually this sucks because this is Sylvius, the Blood Scout, and I had him set to retreat, so this actually made him leave the province, which kind of sucks, but whatever. And in Terra Speak, Ulm kind of retakes that fortress. So how it looks like now is we have Sylvius is somewhere up here. So we got to sneak him back to the Henwood so he can go and, start breaking it down again. We've got this palisade being built. I think this turn, yeah, we don't have any troop production anywhere, and we're just sending people everywhere to build forts. I'm pretty sure this is the turn I did that. I'm slightly ahead. Okay, maybe not. I guess we wait until we take TNG's capital. But we do start forging now. Now we have some hammers, which is good. Lightning rods are pretty good with these mages. But for the most part, this war, since it's over, I stopped researching Conjuration 5. I don't really need it right now. What I'm actually going to do is research Thaumaturgy 3. And the goal of me researching Thaumaturgy 3 is so that I can start site searching with the nature mages and get my nature magic up, because this is poor and I don't want to keep site searching. I personally don't like site searching with a one path. So like eventually even these fires and these earths, I will fix them. I don't know. It's useful. Like I think I showed in the Bosmos game, where all I had for my water 1 mages were the little Ichthyes guys, and just them alone got me a huge water income with their little water 1 path. This game, since I have a fair amount of income right now, and my research has been kind of close, in my opinion, I haven't been really researching with water 1s, because I figure, well, if I'm able to be a little bit lazy after beating Tianchi, what I can do is go up construction 6, and then all these water 1s could be water 2s, and then spam, where is it? I think it's in Conjuration, Voice of Apsu, and just do it that way. I don't normally recommend doing this, but this game in particular, I'm going to do that both with water magic and with fire magic, just because these mages are really expensive, and I really need a lot of research right now. I don't have, or at least I don't feel I have the time to be sending out these high research mages to just site search everything one by one for a one path, you know? I think, and then by the time I get construction 6 that I can give them like a Skull of Fire or a Water Bracelet, I don't know if the value of doing that would be worth it. So I'd rather just do these remote site searching and then kind of speed up the fire and water income as it is, you know? And then over here, this is the province I was mentioning, Troll Land, that I took from Satis. It's got this huge crater in it, which is really good. It's got the Astral Pearl and the Earth Gem. So definitely worth it. I'm a little bit worried. It's called Troll Land. This is Troll Peaks, and I'm still missing one attacked by Troll event. But Satis seemed kind of reasonable about it. So I think it's going to work out for me. I think this is just going to be a free province with 2 gems. Astral Pearls, I don't have the biggest use for right now, but I will soon. Especially if my death income keeps going higher, and I can afford to summon a lot of these guys, the Call Yatta. The Yattas, they're ridiculously expensive, but they do serve a good function for late age Calum because each Yatta has a 3-path in something and then a 3-path in death. And the paths that they have are fire, water, astral, and blood. All of these are paths that I don't have very good access to as this nation, and a single 3-path mage in it is going to be a huge help. It'll essentially break me into all 3 of those paths, which is good because that Fire 3 Yata can make flame spirits or whatnot. He can make flame helmets. He can summon royalty essentially. The Astral 3 can just start breaking me into astral crap, which is always going to be useful. I can summon. I'd have to empower him to make golems, but otherwise, just having not having any astral at all is very bad. So having that astral 3 is going to help. The same with the water 3. Again, that can also summon royalty, but importantly, the water 3 can do Murdering Winter, which gives me an outlet for my water gems, and that can be useful against either Midgard or especially Utgard. Utgard's surprisingly vulnerable to Murdering Winter because the Seithkona and the Nornas actually don't have any cold resistance. So they are actually super susceptible to Murdering Winter. Midgard's Galdermen are probably not going to die to Murdering Winter, but they have Volvas, which are pretty much Seithkona as well, and those will die to Murdering Winter. Pan's stuff's rather resilient. I think the Olmishmen are vulnerable to it. Yeah, the Olmishmen are vulnerable to it. So it's a good amount of nations are vulnerable to Murdering Winter, and that's something that I can use through my Snow Dominion. Water spell. It's just good, in my opinion, to have access to multiple paths because that gives you multiple or more options than you did before. And then the blood magic one, I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory on why I might want that. Other than that, this is pretty much a chill turn, and I think I can keep going. Yeah, because we haven't done anything this turn, and we can go now to turn 30. I think at this point these turns are so small that I don't think I even have notes on what I did in them. Yeah, so I just finish Thaumaturgy. I find a ridiculous amount of sites. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, we do witness a cool battle in Satis, though, where we see the Abyssian main army. Oh, okay, this isn't the battle. There's another battle soon in Satis that is pretty cool. This one is just crossbows doing work, fire elementals doing work, and these Guardians of the Pyre being generally hard to kill. Yeah, those crossbows are really digging into the oh, it's just good fireballs too. Pretty good route. Statistician PD, these city guard are kind of acceptable at best, really. And then the unfortunate thing is we run into Midgard in Osandias. This is the throne. So you come in with these, luck buff Einheers, and attack rear with the cavalry in the back. So Einheers with buffs, especially with some extra thunderbolts, definitely route that center line. And then it's just bands coming in through the sides. We'll check their bluff in a second. These guys are just kind of, circle masters or whatever. They're just going to do like Skelly spam usually, maybe leech and touch if they're close enough. But nothing too crazy. It's not going to stop them from getting run over by Atlantis. And just in case, the Megdar Bless is just defense plus 5. Crazy. It's defense plus 4 from water, and then swiftness, which does help their lance charge, although light lances are kind of crap. But either way, defense skill, very high defense skill Vans. Spoopy stuff. If I did end up fighting them, I'll definitely have to bring out my Iron Crafters against both, even the Einhers, and just Earth Melt for days. So then we bump, and everything kind of works out how it's supposed to, where I get my protection buff, leaves me a shock resistance 10. But what ends up happening is he cleverly, and I usually recommend people do this, has his mages on advance and cast. And that's not good for me. One, these guys start doing stellar cascades, which can fatigue me. It'll be difficult for them because I think I have to do an MR check and then it's armor piercing for some reason. But more importantly, once these guys are done casting Ghost Wolves, they get really close. They're going to start casting something different. And Horror Mark is also garbage. They start doing these Thunder Strikes. And they both hit, and they both do a good amount of damage. And also that... Are they doing Spawn Horror at all? No. Yeah. And those Thunder Strikes just spook the crap out of my Anunnaki. Oh, Lightning Bolt too. Good roll of Lightning Bolt. And yeah, that's it. He decides to route. He was done with that. Which is really, really, really unfortunate, because now Midgard gets this throne. I don't know what throne it was. I don't think I ever got to find out. But now he has this other throne, which means this entire war, I got no thrones out of it, and I desperately need these enemy mages. If I get crystal mages, I have, I think, access to everything I need to win. I mean, I think I do already. But, damn. And then the other hope now is that this throne here in the Stone Heavens, Utgard has not claimed. I think if we do fight Utgard, I'll take these like provinces up from 155 to 160 and up to 178. And that'll get me another throne that's somewhat protected. I mean, it borders the Abyssia, which, whatever. I already bordered them. But I think that will make my territory a lot more cohesive. Give me a few forts, including Utgard's capital. And then, more importantly, give me another throne, because I need 6 to win. There's a little bit of a worry of Midgard potentially winning. I think he stretches from here to like over here or something, or like Atlantis is over here. No, I think he stretches from here to here, and then owns this. And then Atlantis is also down here now. But I think Midgard borders 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he already borders 4 thrones. So I need to keep him from getting the additional 2 he might need to win. Yeah, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. How could he win? If he gets to this one, that one's really protected by Atlantis. I think he needs one more war to get to those thrones, and he wants to do it with Utgard, which doesn't really give him any additional thrones. It's kind of a weird choice in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he does that. Because he's not going to get this one. I'm getting this one. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just a war of eliminating this person, but he's not really going for thrones just yet, because that war is not really giving him any. I would say the next war that he should do if he wants more thrones, probably in this direction, like into Pan or Atlantis, to get these thrones. He should be working with Utgard, honestly. But hey, I am not one to judge. I've been invited by him to attack Utgard, and I am a-okay with that. Anyways, that's going to be turn 30. Again, the next ones, maybe I'll even skip some turns. Not much is going to be happening. This is just me upgrading castles, and again, I don't think I'm even recruiting troops. Yeah. We're just going to storm TNG and be done with this whole fiasco. Oh, just for laughs, TNG was talking a lot of crap that he was going to attack Pan, and he decided he's going to go for Ulm instead. But then Ulm froze this province over, and now TNG can't cross the mountain. And now they're in this wasteland, and they're starving. Meanwhile, Pan, if I remember correctly, has a big army here in Ragdan, 66, and he's just going to cross these mountains because they're hot on both sides. He's just going to cross into Valkoria and crush the starving TNG army. So I think that's a pretty funny chain of events. Anyways, I think that'll be it for turn 30, and I'll see you guys next time.